you very much indeed. Hello, I'm Alexander Armstrong, and a very warm welcome to this special Blue Peter edition of Pointless Celebrities, the show where the aim of the game is to avoid the obvious answers and find the obscure ones. Let's meet this evening's Pointless Celebrities. And couple number one.
Hello, my name's Akinwolere, presenting Blue Peter from 2006 to 2011.
I'm Mark Curry, and I presented Blue Peter from 1986 to 1989, I think. That's a long time ago.
Couple number two.
Hello, I'm Zoe Salmon, and I presented Blue Peter from 2004 to 2008.
Hi, I'm Simon Thomas, and I was 1999 till 2005.
Couple number three.
Hiya, I'm Mwaka, and I'm the latest Blue Peter presenter, and I started May 2020.
And I'm Richie Driss, presenter number 38, and I started in May 2019.
And finally, couple number four.
Hi, I'm Katy Hill, and I was on the show from 1994 to 2000.
Hello, I'm Tim Vincent. I presented Blue Peter from 1993 to 1997.
Well, thank you all very, very much indeed. It's wonderful to have you all here. We'll get a chance to chat a lot more throughout the show, of course, as it goes along. That just leaves one more person for me to introduce. Tonight, he arrived with his entourage. I say entourage, it was more like a briefcase on wheels and a couple of pigeons. It's my pointless friend, it's Richard.
Hiya. Hey, everybody. Welcome along. This is nice. It's genuinely an honour to have all the Blue Peter presenters on. There are certain shows which quite rightly have a place in television history. Tipping Point would be one of them. Yeah. Another one would be Blue Peter. But genuinely, generation after generation after generation, inspiring, entertaining, informing kids. An incredible job you've all done, and I know there's millions of others behind the scenes as well. Absolutely lovely to have you all here. Now, we've got a few people who are back for another attempt, OK? But only one of them, only one person here has a pointless trophy. Look, and that is Tim Vincent, who won with... He won that with Anthea Turner, and now he's got Katy Hill, so I think he'll go even one step further.
It's all on your shoulders.
Very nice indeed. Well, as today's show is a celebrity special, each of our celebrities is playing for a nominated charity. So we're going to start off with a jackpot of £2,500. There that is. Thank you. Right, well, if everyone's ready, let's play Pointless. Now, you know this, the pair with the highest score at the end of each round will be eliminated, so you've just got to get your scores as low as you possibly can. No conferring till we get to the head-to-head round. All right, best of luck to all four pairs. Our first category this evening is... Children's TV. What about that? There you go. OK, your first job is to decide in your pairs who is going to go first and who's going to go second. OK, and the question concerns people who have received gold Blue Peter badges. Richard.
I mean, how about that? On each board, we're going to show you 7 clues to people who've had a Blue Peter gold badge. That's the kind of highest Blue Peter badge you can get. We'll give you their initials as well. We just need you to give us the most obscure answer, please. I think there are people on both these boards who were given their gold badges by people here this evening as well.
Wow.
Wow.
That's amazing. Thank you very much indeed, Richard. Now, remember, we are looking for these people. They've all been awarded gold badges. Here is our first board of clues, 7 of them. Naturalist who presented the TV series Deadly 60, SB. Sprinter who won the 100 metres title at the 2009 World Championships in 9.58 seconds, UB. Filmmaker who directed Jaws, Jurassic Park and Saving Private Ryan, SS. British astronaut who was recognised in the Queen's Birthday Honours list in 2016 while he was in space, TP. Author of Noughts and Crosses, who was the Children's Laureate from 2013 to 2015, MB, Formula One driver who won his 6th World Championship in 2019, LH, and former Blue Peter presenter who accompanied Princess Anne to Kenya for the Blue Peter Royal Safari in 1971, VS. What about that? Who's going to go first?
What did you...
I am.
This has done it, look.
It was decided.
OK, it's happening, it's happening.
OK. What I really want to know, I'm going to ask you just because it's the sheer range of things you do on Blue Peter is always hilarious and brilliant. But what is your absolute standout? Do you have a moment?
There are
that for you
various
was,
things, and we're very lucky to do some really incredible things. But I always remember, and this comes up every Christmas, actually. I always get a little check in the post because I made a massive boo-boo. So this one year, it was my job to put the star on top of the tree in Trafalgar Square, right? Wow. So here's me doing my piece to the camera, saying, finally, I've been given the opportunity to go up. Yeah, cherry picker, you know, they gave me the star. Yeah. You know, all the builders are, all right, this is it. It's the crowning moment. The day after, the Norwegian Prime Minister's on his way to come and see the star, or the choir singers are all there, the crowds are going to be there. I get to the top, start screwing it on, and just smashed. Absolutely crashed on the... I know, I can see it in your face, I know. But what wonderful thing about it was that put it together with old good old sticky back plastic, didn't we?
Io, what are you going to go for on our board of gold badge winners?
Do you know what? I will go for Naturalist, who presented the TV series Deadly 60, and that's Steve Backshall.
Steve Backshall. Let's see if that is right. Let's see how many of our 100 people said it. Steve Backshall. It is right. And I think you've chosen a very good one there, Io. I'm going to say that before it lands on 18. Very good indeed. 18 for Steve Backshall.
Great work, Io. Lovely Steve Backshall. They gave him his badge. They brought him into the studio to play a game where he had to put his hand in various boxes and work out what animals were in the box. And in the final box was his gold Blue Peter badge.
In the teeth of a
yes, in the teeth of a
alligator.
Viper. Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you very much indeed, Zoe. Well, listen, I'm going to ask you the same question. What's your take-home Blue Peter moment?
It's so difficult to choose.
It could be one of glory.
This is the thing, on Blue Peter, every day was like a red letter day. There were so many challenges, but I do remember after having ran the London Marathon, and I was the first female Blue Peter presenter to do that, within 4 days, I then was training to do barefoot water skiing, and I never even water skied before, so to do it bare feet, and then to have done it after I could barely walk after doing the London Marathon, I was convinced at one point, are Blue Peter trying to kill me? But then you got the nice experiences, like I do remember Connie Huck and I went and spent a few days in the Bahamas, so that sounds nice. So there was always a nice mix of filming, and it was the whole just variety of everything. I loved it. I mean, what a dream job for all of us.
I mean, what a dream job. I can't think of anything more fun. So, Zoe.
Yes. OK.
What are we going to go for?
Which one will have the least number? I'm going to go for author of Noughts and Crosses, Mallory Blackman.
Mallory Blackman. OK, let's see how many of our 100 people got Mallory Blackman. It's right. Well, the only score we have at the moment is 18. And you pass it. Look at that, down to 11. Very well done indeed, Zoe.
Very well played, Zoe. Yeah, the wonderful Mallory Blackman. Fully deserving of a gold badge and more.
Thank you very much indeed, Richard. Mwaka, welcome to Pointless. So you are the latest signing. So when did you join?
I joined May 2020.
I mean, and you've been filming the whole way through? Or
yeah,
did you,
we've been out. I've been to like Wales, just around England in general and stuff, meeting lovely children, and obviously alongside my lovely friend Richie Driss as well, and the other two presenters too.
It's all still live?
Yeah.
All still live. I mean, how many other kids shows are there that are live? None, really.
Exactly.
I mean, that's extraordinary. Now, Mike, so what are you going to go for on this board?
Well, the one I was going to go for has been taken. I'm thinking filmmaker who directed Jaws, Jurassic Park, and Saving Private Ryan. Steven Spielberg.
Steven Spielberg, says Mwaka. Let's see how many of our 100 people agree with her. Steven Spielberg. It is right. Well, 11 is our low score. 65 now is our high.
Yeah, he said he first watched Blue Peter in 1980 when he was filming Raiders of the Lost Ark in the UK. And he said he'd always wanted a badge.
That's
I mean, he probably
sweet.
didn't, did he? But it's a nice thing to say.
I think that.
It's a classy thing to, it's a classy
Time in
thing
the
to say.
afternoon.
No, but he's American. He doesn't really know, does he?
He doesn't.
He'd have had someone saying to him.
Someone will have said. So, Tim.
Yes.
Tim, what are you going to choose from the back catalogue, from the archive?
Well, I think Zoe hit the nail on the head, really. There's so many fun things that you do all the time, but I think one thing that you get to do on the show that usually is a rite of passage that nobody can do in the real world, is fly in tornado jets, and I managed to do that a few times. But when I did it with Andy Green. He was a fighter pilot, and he took me up in the plane, and his one bit of advice to me was, you're going to be sick, but just keep an eye outside the window and just work out where the sky is and where the ground is, and it'll help your body stop being as sick. And that was exactly right, and we set off going at 850 miles an hour straight out into a blue ocean and a blue sky. So everything was blue, so I threw up all over.
And everything was green.
And everything was green going down the front.
Anyway, so what are you going to go for on this board, Tim? You could fill in all those blanks.
Well, the easy stroke hard ones have gone, so I'm going to guess that not necessarily everybody would know it, but everybody here would know it, is the former Blue Peter presenter who accompanied Princess Anne. I'm a big fan of hers, so I'm going to go Valerie Singleton.
Valerie Singleton, says Tim. Let's see how many of our 100 people said Valerie Singleton. It's right. 65 is the high score, 11 is the low. You pass the high, down goes to 38. Not bad at all.
Well played, Tim. Lovely to mention Valerie Singleton as well. She was the first ever presenter of Blue Peter to get a gold badge. Started the whole thing.
Very nice.
Yeah. Shall we take a look through the rest of this board? Now, the sprinter...
Usain Bolt.
Usain Bolt. He would have scored you 60 points. The British astronaut...
Tim Peake.
Tim Peake. Would have scored 35. And the F1 driver...
Lewis Hamilton.
Lewis Hamilton. Would have scored you 74. So Mallory Blackman is the best answer on the board. Very well done.
Well done, Zoe.
Very good indeed. Thank you so much. Well, we're halfway through the round. Let's have a quick look at those scores. 11, as Richard says, best score on the board. Fantastic work there. Then we travel up to 18, where we find Mark and Io. And then from there, it's up to 38, where we find Tim and Katy. And then Richie and Mwaka are on 65. A little bit ahead there, but Richie, I have every confidence.
Same.
A Mallory Blackman sort of answer would just be great.
Well...
In about 3 minutes' time. OK, good luck with that. We're going to come back down the line. OK, let's put 7 more clues to gold Blue Peter badge holders on the board, and here they come. England and Manchester City footballer who is named Men's Football Writers' Player of the Year for the 2018-19 season are S. Former Great British Bake Off judge who appeared on a 2019 festive TV special with the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge, MB. Musician played by Taron Egerton in the 2019 film Rocketman, EJ. Scottish actor who starred in Broadchurch and as the 10th Doctor in Doctor Who, DT. Presenter of Gardener's World from 1969 to 1976, who designed the original Blue Peter Garden, PT. Author who created the Horrid Henry series of children's books, FS, and gymnast who won Britain's first ever gold medal at a gymnastics world championships in 2006. BT. Now then, Katy.
Hello.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
Great to have you here with us
here.
again. Well, you know what I'm going to ask you.
Come on, bring it.
Can't. Pick something out. A trophy from the archive.
I did a bobsleigh run once, and I think it was the first time that I've ever really come face to face with what you were asked to do on the show, because the team the day before turned over the bobsleigh. But, I mean, going down with the Olympic team, the speed and the exhilaration, and it was literally my dream from when I was 5, and it absolutely ticked every box. It was amazing, the job. It was incredible.
Very good. OK, Katy, brand new board there. Who are you going to go for?
See, it's tricky, because I think, because it's going to be adults who voted on a lot of this stuff, I annoyingly don't know the Horrid Henry author, because I think that would be a really good one. I'm going to go Elton John.
For the EJ one?
Yeah.
OK, Elton John, says Katy. Let's see how many of our 100 people said that. Here is your red line. Elton John's absolutely right. Oh! Stops at 68, which takes your total up to 106.
Sorry, Tim.
Sorry.
Yeah, he got his in 2005, and Liz Barker flew out to Vegas to give him a badge.
Vegas, baby.
That's fun.
That's a nice gig, isn't it?
Wow.
To give Elton John a badge?
Yeah.
Lovely.
It wasn't the Las Vegas of the North, was it? Blackpool.
That's how I look at it, yeah, it was.
Oh, wow.
Oh, dear.
Thank you very much indeed. Actually, Richie, that raises an issue. You can help me with this. How are these things portioned out? I mean, is there a coin toss on it or something? Because you've got to feel sorry for the person who's got to go and do a thing about rare moths in Cumbria. when someone else is going out to Vegas?
So what they do is they get the presenters that are on the show
Get to fight.
in a pit with some brooms, and whoever's the last one standing gets to go.
Quite vicious.
Right, OK. What's your best to date, Richie? What's your best gig?
Mine's quite similar to Tim's, which is also quite similar to Katy's. I did centrifuge training. So whereas Tim was in a fighter jet going at 800 miles an hour, I did the same thing, only the challenge was to withstand as many Gs as my body could.
Oh, Lord.
So I did all of that in a warehouse in Lincoln instead of in a tornado jet. I did reach 7 Gs, and when an astronaut goes into space, they only touch 4, so...
Oh, Richie. Oh, whoa. Listen, are NASA aware of that?
7 Gs.
I'll give him a shout.
Yeah. I should give him a shout.
7? Do you know what a G, for every G it goes up, that means your finger weighs 7 times as much as it normally would.
Wow.
That's his whole body, everything weighs 7 times as much.
It's so hard to text.
Yeah, but 7G, I mean, the technology there, amazing.
Really good.
Rich, what are you going to go for? Now, you're on 65. If you can score 40 or less, you are into the next round.
I know one of those pretty well, considering I did it. I'm going to go for the England and Manchester City footballer who was named Men's Football Writers Player of the Year for the 2018-2019 season, Raheem Sterling.
Raheem Sterling. OK, let's see how many of our 100 people said that. There is your red line, Richie. Good luck. It's right. Still right. You've done it. You've done it. 28. 28, taking your total up to 93. Well done.
Very nicely done, Richie. And did you say you handed that one over?
I did, yeah.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
Well. There we are. Thank you very much indeed. OK, Simon, welcome.
Great to be here.
What from your history of Blue Peter, highs and lows, the peaks and troughs
Well, we've
of your
got quite a
career?
few Daredevil things, so I'll steer clear of those. Meeting the Queen was surreal. I got to give her the gold Blue Peter badge. Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
We had a big lineup of ex-presenters and editors, and I'd been given the job of giving her the badge. And before she came in, her PR person comes up and says, "What are you going to say to the Queen?" She wants it verbatim, what you're going to say. I said, "Well, I've got a bit of a gag." And she said, "The Queen doesn't do gags." Well, I said, "How about this one?" And she said, "OK, if you stick to those words, you can say it." So when Her Majesty was standing there in front of me, I opened the box and I just said, "Your Majesty, on behalf of the programme, I'd like to give you the programme's highest honour. It's a gold Blue Peter badge. And you might like to know you can get into the Tower of London free with this." She gave me a little chortle and off she went.
Oh, that's...
an amazing moment. An amazing moment.
Fabulous. Simon, what are you going to go for? Whom are you going to pick on this board?
So I'm going to go with presenter of Gardener's World from 69 to 76, designed the original Blue Peter garden. I remember him so well, such an amazing guy, Percy Thrower.
Percy Thrower. Let's see how many of our 100 people said that. And now here is your red line. Lovely and high. Get below that, you're through. Very well done indeed. Oh, that's great. 25, taking your total up to 36. Fabulous.
Very well played, Simon. Firstly, nice to mention him. Secondly, nice low score. Thirdly, I think you nicked Mark's answer.
Sorry, Curry.
Couldn't believe it. No, I'm the only person who will remember Percy Thrower.
Oh, now, Mark, what's your enduring Blue Peter memory?
Oh, well, the most surreal thing, I think, was being strapped to the sails of a windmill.
Oh, I love that one.
And nobody told me. I thought I was doing a film about how windmills work, you know, and how they used to...
Well, you kind of were.
Sort of, but I didn't think I'd actually be strapped to it.
Wow. I mean, had it been tested exhaustively?
Probably not. It was 1987.
In the days before health and safety, really.
Completely.
So we said, we're going to strap you in.
Yes.
I've got a belt here, we'll use that.
What they do is step on a tortoise.
Exactly. And as you know, in television, they do a close shot, so the film crew are there. Then they do a mid-shot, so they move away. Then they disappear for an hour. Up to a hill so they can get a long shot, and I'm on this thing going round and round.
Did they just keep saying, "Yeah, Mark, we're just going to wait for some wind"?
Yes.
Going to wait for some wind, Mark.
Yes. I had a walkie-talkie in my back pocket, but I couldn't get to, of course.
Yeah.
So that was quite surreal. Really.
Excellent. Hilarious. OK, now, Mark, this is all yours, this board. Now, you're on 18. You have to score 87 or less.
OK. I'm going to go for the Scottish actor who starred in Broadchurch and as the 10th Doctor in Doctor Who, David Tennant.
David Tennant. OK, listen, 87 is what you've got to score, and it's there. Surely you get below that with David Tennant. I mean, surely. Even with brand recognition like his. David Tennant, how many people said it? You've done it.
Whoa!
70. Not too far off. There we are. 88 is your total, and you're through.
Well done, Mark did all he needed to do there. It's actually a higher score than Mary Berry. She's still a pretty big score there. Mary Berry would have scored you 54. The best answer on the board, the one that everyone was struggling with, the author of Horrid Henry, is Francesca Simon. That's the answer there. 4 points for that. And Io and Zoe, I think, handed this gold badge out to...
Beth Tweedle.
Yes, Beth Tweddle.
Beth Tweddle, yeah, absolutely right. 20 points for Beth Tweddle.
Thank you very much indeed, Richard. Well, that brings us to the end of our first round. It means we have to say goodbye to our first pair. I'm so sorry. Tim and Katy are on 106.
Sorry about
which
that.
Which means we have to say goodbye to you.
It's been
way
so fun.
Too soon.
So fun.
It's been brief, but fun.
See you for the next time, guys. Yeah.
See you for the 100th.
Hang on, is that a special Blue Peter thing? I just want to learn. Could be an upgrade in it. It's lovely having you here. Please come and play again as many times as you possibly can. Tim and Katy, wonderful. But for the remaining 3 pairs, it is now time for round 2. Very well done. You've made it to round 2. This is fantastic. You'll have noticed one of our pairs has mysteriously disappeared. Our category for round 2 this evening is G for geography. Can you all decide in your pairs who's going to go first, who's going to go second? OK, let's find out what the question is. Here it comes. We gave 100 people 100 seconds to name as many countries containing the letter G as they could. Simple as that. Rich?
Yeah, simply any country in the world that has a G somewhere in its name, please. As always, by country, we mean a sovereign state that's a member of the UN in its own right.
Very nice. Thank you. Who's going to go first?
I think I am.
Go on, then.
Rich,
I'm not so petrified.
Yes. G. I can't think of one. I can't think of a country containing the letter G. OK. What about Georgia?
Georgia.
Georgia.
Says Mark. Let's see how many of our 100 people said Georgia. It's right.
Come on.
28. 28 for Georgia. There we are.
That was dodgy. That was dodgy. And there's a G in dodgy.
Lovely start to the round, though.
Indeed. OK, Simon.
This may go horribly wrong.
That's OK.
OK. I'm going to go with Papua New Guinea.
Oh, what? Oh, no, Richie had that.
Did you?
Yeah.
Sorry, man.
And Watts as well. Papua New Guinea, says Simon. Let's see how many of our 100 people said that.
It might not even be a right answer.
It's right. 28 is the only score we have so far, and you pass it.
Wow.
Down it goes to 12. Very well done.
That's another very nice answer. Papua New Guinea is sort of around near Australia, isn't it?
Yes.
It's just above Australia.
Well done.
Absolutely safe and sound saying that.
Absolutely right. OK. Richie? So we're looking for any country with a G in its name.
I'm going to go for... It's really obvious. I'm going to go for Algeria.
Nice.
Algeria, says Richie.
Lovely.
Let's see how many of our 100 people said Algeria. It is right. 28 the high score, 12 the low. And look at that, down it goes to 6. Down it goes to 6, Richie. Well done, well done.
That's a great answer, Richie. Well played, yeah. It's Algeria is it didn't used to be, but it's now the largest country in Africa. When South Sudan and Sudan seceded from each other, Algeria became the largest country in Africa.
Thank you very much indeed, Richie. Well, we're halfway through the round. Let's have a look at those scores. 6, the best score of the pass. Very well done indeed on far podium there. 12 is where we find Simon and Zoe, and 28 is where we find Mark and Io. A little bit ahead there, but Io, we are in good hands. It's not your turn quite yet, but when it comes to it, I think I'm looking forward to that. Best of luck when the moment comes. OK, let's come back down the line. Mwaka, remember, we're looking for any country with a G in its name. Simple as that.
Yes. I'm going to say Nigeria because I love their food.
OK, Nigeria for cuisine reasons.
Yes.
Yes, let's see how many of our 100 people said Nigeria. There is your red line, Mwaka. Good enough. Down goes 16. Fantastic. 22, your total.
Well played, Mwaka. It's a really good answer. Now, Nigeria, in a sort of a Blue Peter twist, For their national anthem, they decided to hold a public competition for people to write the lyrics for it. And there was a winning entry and this, that, the other, but they didn't actually choose the winning entry. They made a mix of the first 5 winning entries. They chose lyrics from all of them. It's a nice idea, isn't it?
If we did that, you know that they'd be unpublishable.
Oh, it would be awful.
It'd be awful.
Yeah.
Thank you very much indeed. So, now then, Zoe. Zoe, you're on 12, which means 15 or less is your target. What are you going to go for?
I've got so many going round in my head. I really hope I haven't made this country up.
Oh, so do I.
I'll kick myself for not going for the other ones in my head, but I'm going to go for the Democratic Republic of Congo.
The Democratic Republic of Congo.
That's a good one.
Delicious.
The Democratic Republic of
Delicious.
Congo. There is your red line. Let's see what happens. DRC. It's right.
Yeah, she's got it.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yes, Zoe. Yes, Zoe. Yes.
You're through. Wow! There we are. Very well done. That scores you 13.
That's a terrific answer, Zoe. Very, very well played. Formerly Zaire.
There we are. Thank you very much
My A-level
indeed.
geography teacher would be so proud of me
Well
right
done.
now.
Well done. And will be. And will be.
Shout out to Mrs. Graham.
Mrs. Graham. Now then, Ayo.
Oh,
Oh, I'm sorry.
you took the delicious answer and you
gonna
just
say
took the
that.
country where I'm from. So this is a tricky one. Let's stay on the continent. Let's stay on Africa. What about Guinea-Bissau?
Guinea-Bissau.
Yeah.
I have bad news, I'm afraid, Ayo. There's no red line for you as you
I
are the
know,
high
we're
scorers.
dead.
I'm sorry.
We're dead.
But Guinea-Bissau is a great answer.
we're
Let's
dead.
see how many of our 100 people said it.
Yeah.
It's right. Down it goes to 5. Very well done indeed. Extremely strong, taking your total up to 33.
Yeah, it's a great way to leave us, Io. Very well played.
know.
Lovely answer, Guinea-Bissau. I'm going to take you through some of the low scores. 5 and below, I'll take you through. As well as Guinea-Bissau, for 5 points, you could have had Antigua and Barbuda, Mongolia, Senegal and Singapore. For 4 points, you could have said Afghanistan. For 3 points, Congo and Madagascar and Uruguay. For 2 points, you could have said Bangladesh or Equatorial Guinea. For 1 point, Bosnia and Herzegovina. We've had the DRC already from Zoe. It was a terrific answer. Kyrgyzstan, Montenegro, Nicaragua and Togo. And there are 3 pointless answers out there. So very well done if you said one of the following 3. The 3 pointless answers are St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Tonga and Trinidad and Tobago. Very well done if you said one of those. Top answer, Germany. 78.
Wouldn't it always be?
Wouldn't it always be?
Yes. Thank you very much indeed, Richard. Well, that brings us to the end of our second round, and I'm sorry to say we have to say goodbye to another pair. Oh, Mark and Io, it is you. And 33 is a very low high score.
Yes.
You've covered yourselves in glory.
Thank you.
But I'm afraid this is where we have to say goodbye. Please come and play again. It's been lovely having you here.
We'd love
Mark
to.
and Io.
We'd love to.
But for our 2 remaining pairs, it's now time for the head-to-head. Congratulations, Simon and Zoe, Richie and Mwaka. You are now 1 step closer to the final and a chance to play for our jackpot, which currently stands at £2,500. But now we've got to decide who's going to go through to the final and play for that jackpot, and we do it by making you go head-to-head. But this time, you're allowed to confer. First pair to win 2 questions will be playing for that jackpot. Best of luck to both pairs. Let's play the head-to-head. Here is your first question, and it concerns 1980s fashion. Or as I call it, fashion. Richard.
That's very good. We are going to show you 5 pictures now of clothes and accessories that were fashionable in the 1980s. We will also show you alternate letters of their names. Can you identify the most obscure of these, please?
Thank you very much indeed. OK, let's reveal our 5 items of fashionable garb. And here they are. A, LGWRES. B, PFBLDES. C, FNELSGOE. D, SELSI. And E, CUCBG. There we are. And so, Simon and Zoe, we come to you first.
Oh, it's so tricky because basically we do know all of them, and obviously it's a case of, you know, playing the game.
Yes.
I think we're going to go with... You're happy to go with... We're going to go with B, and that is the puffball dress.
Puffball dress, say Simon and Zoe. Now then, Richie and Mwaka, do you want to talk us through the board?
OK, so A is obviously leg warmers.
Yeah.
A, leg warmers. I knew B. E, clutch bag. I'm not sure what D is, if I'm honest.
Shell suit.
I would like C, but I don't know what it is. I think you should just...
All right, should we go for D then?
Take it away. I'm
OK.
nervous. Yeah. I'm nervous.
What are you going to go for?
Shell suit.
Shell suit, D. So we have puffball dress and we have shell suit. Simon and Zoe have gone for puffball dress for B. Let's see how many of our 100 people said puffball dress. He's right. Down that goes to 49. Richie and Mwaka, meanwhile, have gone for D, shell suit. Let's see how many of our 100 people said that, shell suit. Shell suit's right. Oh, 67 for shell suit, which means, Simon and Zoe, well done. After one question, you are up 1-0.
Yeah, they're all pretty big scorers, so puffball dress actually the best answer you could have given. Couldn't have beaten the puffball dress there. It makes me feel a bit old that the current podium doesn't know C. We were obsessed with those in the 80s. Everybody had them. Fingerless gloves.
Fingerless gloves.
That's the answer there.
Such a basic name.
Would have scored you, it is basic, would have scored you 51 points. A, you're quite right, was leg warmers. Leg warmers would have scored you 80 points. It's the biggest score up there, and you're quite right as well about the clutch bag. And that would have scored you 71.
There we are. Thank you very much indeed. OK, now here comes your second question. Richie and Mwaka, you have to win this one to stay in the game. You get to answer it first, so that's good. Best of luck. Our second question is all about classic cartoon characters and their short films. Richard.
Yeah, we're going to show you the titles now of 5 theatrical animated short films and the initials of a cartoon character who's in that film. Can you tell us who the cartoon characters are, please?
Thank you very much indeed. OK, let's reveal our 5 short films. To Beep or Not to Beep, 1963, Warner Brothers, RR. Mexicali Schmoes, 1959, Warner Brothers, SG. Sentimental Romeo, 1951, Warner Brothers, PLP. Wabbit Twubble, 1941, Warner Brothers, BB. And The Bowling Alley Cat, 1942, MGM, T&J. Richie and Mwaka, you will go first.
OK. I know the bottom 3.
Ooh, yes, Richie.
I'm going to kick myself for not knowing the top 2. So I'm going to go for the one that's smack bang in the middle, Sentimental Romeo.
Most obscure, you think?
Of the 3 that I know,
Okay,
yeah.
fantastic.
Pepe Le Pew.
Pepe Le Pew. Pepe Le Pew, say Richie and Mwaka. Now then, over to you, Simon and Zoe.
We didn't know that
Do you want to talk us through the rest of the board?
Well, we didn't know that one. We know that Wabbit Trouble is Bugs Bunny, Tom and Jerry for the Bowling Alley Cat, Mexicali Schmooze is Speedy Gonzales, and then Roadrunner, Beep Me, is the top one.
So...
But I think Richie may have pulled something out of the bag here.
Yeah, I personally think your one is the lowest one, so it's just whether we go for Speedy Gonzales or...
I think let's go for a bit of 1959.
Okay.
Lots of people know about Tom and Jerry and Bugs Bunny.
Yeah, exactly.
Speedy
it's more
Gonzales.
Obscure. I think let's... Yeah, OK.
We'll go with Speedy Gonzales.
Yeah.
OK, Speedy Gonzales. So, we have Pepe Le Pew and Speedy Gonzales. Richie and Mwaka have gone for Pepe Le Pew. Let's see how many of our 100 people said that. Oh, it's not bad. Look at that. Down it goes to 13. 13 for Pepe Le Pew. Now, Simon and Zoe, meanwhile, have gone for Speedy Gonzales for Mexicali Schmoes. Let's see how many of our 100 people said Speedy Gonzales. He's right. Oh, it's going to be close. And it wins! And it wins! 10 for Speedy Gonzales. Very well done indeed. And that means, Simon and Zoe, after only 2 questions, you are straight through to the final 2-0.
Well done, both teams there. They're the best 2 answers on the board. Could not have played that better. So congratulations to everyone. Let's fill in the points for the others. We know what they all are. Roadrunner, up the top there, would have scored you 35. Bugs Bunny, would have scored you 44, and Tom and Jerry, of course, at the bottom there, would have scored you 43.
Thank you very much indeed, Richard. So the pair leaving us at the end of the head-to-head round, I'm afraid it's Richie and Mwaka. You've been so good the whole way through, and that score doesn't really reflect how it actually played out, because you were so close there. And it's just been great fun having you. You've been absolutely superb, so thank you. Richie and Mwaka, come and play again. But for Simon and Zoe, it is now time for our pointless final. A huge congratulations, Simon and Zoe. You've seen off all the competition and you have won our coveted Pointless trophy. Woo.
Yay!
You now have a chance to win our Pointless jackpot for your charities.
Yeah.
And at the end of today's show, the jackpot is standing at £2,500. So, yeah, very, very well done. We haven't had any pointless answers yet. So, yeah, you've just got to find one now. What do you want to see come up in this last round?
Sport.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say sport, obviously.
That's good. Yeah. That's good. That covers that. So, Zoe, what about you?
I think I would like anything arts, entertainment, TV, film.
OK.
So...
Well, as always, you get to choose your category for the
Yes.
final round. And your 4 choices for today are Eagles, the year 2015, films featuring members of famous double acts, the US music charts.
I think the films featuring members of famous double acts could be a good one.
Yeah.
But is there one there that's pointing, like, really standing out to you?
Apart from that one, the year 2015, because it's reasonably
Recent, so we should, So it's whether you want to go niche or go broad.
Let's go broad. Yeah?
Yeah, OK.
OK.
Year 2015.
The year 2015.
OK, and we stumbled across a little sports question here as well, one of your 3, which is good. We're looking for any of the following 3 things, please. We're looking for anyone credited with appearing in the 2015 TV series Wolf Hall, according to IMDb. We're looking for anyone who played in either the men's or women's FA Cup final in 2015. That's Arsenal against Aston Villa for the men and Chelsea and Notts County for the women. Or we are looking for any leaders of a party which won a seat at the 2015 general election, please. So the cast of Wolf Hall, players in one of the cup finals, or party leaders who won general election seat. Very best of luck.
Thank you very much indeed, Richard. As always, you've got up to 1 minute to come up with 3 answers. All you need to win that jackpot for your charities is for just one of those answers to be pointless. Are you ready?
I think so.
OK, let's put 60 seconds up on the clock. There they are. Your time starts now.
OK, so I'm really of limited help to you here. I think we should focus in on your field, which is sport. So focus on that for 3 answers, because unless you're into politics or you've watched Wolf Hall, you watched Wolf Hall?
No, I've never seen any of it.
Right, let's take that out. So how's your politics?
Leaders of the parties that won a seat at the general election.
I think we should focus on the middle, because that's your field, and you...
Well, it used to be. We've been out of the game for 3 years.
But you've been watching it, you're a guy. Right. We just need... well... Right, so...
Leaders of the parties won a seat at the general election. I want to go with that one.
10 seconds left.
OK, so who... Do you have 3 answers for that one?
No.
Do you have 1?
3 you made.
OK, that, I'm afraid, is your minute up. What 3 answers can you give me?
Do you want to say, then, David Cameron? Do you want to do 2 Conservatives, then? Just
David Cameron.
So David Cameron's 1.
OK, so we've got David Cameron.
Yeah.
Right. Before Boris.
Nick Clegg.
Nick Clegg.
And Alex Salmon.
And Alex Salmon.
Oh, good one.
There we are. Of those 3, which is your best shot at a pointless answer?
Alex Salmon.
Alex Salmon we'll put last.
Yes.
Least likely to be pointless?
David Cameron.
David Cameron, then we put Nick Clegg in the middle.
Yeah.
OK, but let's put those answers up on the board in that order then. And here they are. We have got David Cameron, Nick Clegg, Alex Salmon. There we are. Well, very, very best of luck. If one of these turns out to be pointless and wins that jackpot for you, which charities are you playing for? Simon.
So I'm playing for a charity called Grief Encounter, because my boy lost his mum 3 years ago very suddenly to cancer. And they're one of many amazing kids' bereavement charities, and they've worked with him for the last couple of years. They do one-on-one counselling, and they're just utterly brilliant. And he loves it. He gets to spend time with other kids who've been through something similar, and they're kind of the unsung heroes, these organisations. So Grief Encounter is who my money's going to.
Zoe, how about you?
Action Cancer, it's Northern Ireland's leading cancer charity, and I've been proudly supporting them for many years as their patron, so fingers crossed for both.
Very good. Well, very, very best of luck. 2 lovely charities there, 3 answers there. Wouldn't it be lovely if one of these answers wins that jackpot for your charities? Your first answer was David Cameron. In all 3 cases, we were looking for leaders of parties that won seats at the general election of 2015. If David Cameron is pointless, you will leave here with £2,500 for your charities. How many people said David Cameron? It's right. David Cameron now taking us down through the 50s. We are into the 40s, the bottom half of the column. Down to the 20s, 25 for David Cameron. OK. Not a pointless answer. No. So let's hope nobody said your next answer, which was Nick Clegg. Same criteria. How many of our 100 people said Nick Clegg for £2,500? Nick Clegg is right. Well, David Cameron took us all the way down to 25. Nick Clegg now takes us down, passing 25 through the teens into single figures, going down to single figures with...
Oh, we were
3 for Nick Clegg. Goodness me. OK, so, again, not a pointless answer. So we have to turn to your third and final answer, which is Alex Salmon. Exactly the same criteria. How many of our 100 people said Alex Salmon for £2,500? Has to be pointless for you to win. Oh, no! Oh, bad luck. Bad luck. Well, never mind. It was a tough category, that one, for you, I'm afraid. Maybe you wanted niche. Maybe it was too broad.
Should have gone niche.
Too broad, maybe.
Next time, next time, let's go niche.
Well, I'm sorry to say you didn't manage to find the all-important pointless answer, so I'm afraid you don't win today's jackpot. However, as it is a celebrity special, we're going to donate 500 quid to each celebrity pair for their respective charities. So you get that, and of course you get to take home a pointless trophy. So very, very well done for that as well.
Yeah, good last-minute thought with Alex Salmon. Nicola Sturgeon was the head of the SMP at that time. She would have scored 2 points, though. She would have scored 2 points as well. All of the Northern Irish leaders were pointless answers, but we will get on to those. We'll start with the cast of Wolf Hall. Some pointless answers here. Anton Lesser, Jonathan Pryce, Mark Gatiss, a pointless answer. Tom Holland, everybody apart from Mark Rylance, Claire Foy and Damien Lewis. Everyone else in that was a pointless answer. Now, this football one, as soon as you ask about specific teams and specific years, the brain absolutely goes. But I'll show you some names here. You could have had Ellen White, Eni Aluko, Per Mertesacker from Arsenal, Santi Cazorla, Gabby Bonlahor, Hector Bellerin, Wojciech Szczesny, Jack Wilshere. Lots of answers there. The only ones that scored points were Aaron Ramsey, Olivier Giroud, Theo Walcott, Alexis Sanchez, Christian Benteke, Mesut Ozil, Millie Brighton, Nacho Monreal. Everyone else who played in both those finals was a pointless answer. And those leaders, Leanne Wood, Applied Cymru, Natalie Bennett, the Greens, Nigel Farage, they won 1 seat. Peter Robinson, a pointless answer, and Alistair McDonald, a pointless answer. Mike Nesbitt, Jerry Adams, also pointless answers as well. Very well done if you said any of those at home.
Thank you very much indeed, Richard. And thank you so much, Simon and Zoe. We've loved having you on the show. Thank you so much for playing. Simon and Zoe. Thank you. Well, join us next time when we'll be putting more pointless knowledge to the test on pointless celebrities. Meanwhile, it's goodbye from Richard.
Goodbye.
And it's goodbye from me. Goodbye.